I came home and found my entire life lying outside in the dirt. That was the moment everything inside me broke. My name is Evelyn Carter, a 68-year-old retired school teacher from Georgia. I had spent my entire life helping others, my students, my own daughter, even strangers. But nothing prepared me for the betrayal waiting inside my own home. It was a warm Sunday afternoon. I had just returned from visiting my sister when I saw something shocking scattered across the front porch. My books, my sewing basket, the framed photos of my grandchildren, my clothes, even my pillow. Everything thrown out as if I were trash. At first, I thought someone had broken in, but then I heard voices inside the house. Laughing, moving furniture, someone dragging something heavy across the floor. I pushed open the door. Standing inside my bedroom, was my son-in-law, Derek, wiping sweat from his forehead. And right behind him was a woman I had only ever seen in pictures. His mother, Loretta, smiling like she had just won the lottery. My heart stopped. "Derek, what's happening?" I asked, my voice shaking. Without even looking at me, he said, "It's simple, Evelyn. Mom is moving into your room. You need to sleep in the basement from now on." I felt dizzy. The basement? With no windows, no bathroom, cold cement floors? "Why?" I whispered. His mother answered before he could. "Because this house needs someone capable of keeping it running, not an old woman who moves too slowly." Her smirk cut deeper than any knife. I looked toward the living room, praying my daughter would appear, but she wasn't home. "Where's Anna?" I asked. "Oh," Derek said casually, "she's staying with friends tonight. She agreed to all this. We talked about it." My daughter agreed? No, she would never. Something was wrong. I stepped forward, trying to reach the hallway, but Derek blocked me. "Evelyn, stop being dramatic. You live here for free. Now you're complaining about a little room rearrangement?" A little room rearrangement. Those words burned into my soul. "I built this house with my late husband," I said, trembling. "This is my home." He shrugged. "Not anymore." I felt my heart collapse. In that moment, I realized that the boy I treated like my own son had finally shown his true face. He didn't care about family. He cared about control. His mother walked past me, brushing my shoulder. "I'll take good care of this room," she said sweetly. "You enjoy the basement." She closed the door behind her. I stood there in the hallway, surrounded by the echo of my own shattered dignity. But what Derek didn't know was this. He had just started a war, and I had nothing left to lose. The basement door creaked open with a long, painful groan, as if the house itself was protesting what Derek had done. I stood at the top of the stairs, staring down into the dim, cold darkness below. This wasn't a room. It wasn't even a storage space. It was a forgotten part of the house where old pipes rattled, where dust collected in thick layers, where no one ever went except to drop off junk. The next morning, sunlight barely touched the basement. I woke up feeling sore, cold, and older than I had ever felt in my life. But inside my chest, a clear thought burned. This isn't the end. This is the beginning. I climbed the basement stairs slowly, expecting Derek to snap at me or his mother to smirk again. But when I reached the kitchen, something felt strange. The house was quiet. Too quiet. I poured myself a cup of water and noticed something on the counter. a stack of papers or documents shoved carelessly behind the toaster. Derek's signature was on one of the pages. Curiosity pulled me closer. I fanned out the papers. My eyes widened. They were mortgage documents, property transfer forms, and a loan application that Derek had filed without telling anyone. A massive loan, one he couldn't repay. My hands trembled as I read. Derek had put the house, my house, as collateral. And worse, he had forged my daughter Anna's signature. I covered my mouth in shock. No wonder he wanted me in the basement. No wonder he wanted his mother in my room. No wonder he wanted control of the house. He wasn't helping Anna. He was preparing to sell the house behind her back. This wasn't just betrayal. This was a crime. But that wasn't the only secret. As I kept reading, I found messages, emails, and receipts hidden inside the pile. Derek had been gambling online. He had lost thousands. He had borrowed more than the house was even worth. He wasn't a clueless son-in-law. He was a desperate man trying to hide his destruction. I stood there, frozen, every muscle in my body tensed with shock and fury. Just then, footsteps approached. I quietly pushed the documents back where I found them. Derek entered the kitchen wearing that same arrogant confidence. "Oh good, you're awake. I hope the basement wasn't too cold." I smiled. A calm, controlled, dangerous smile. "Don't worry about me," I said softly. "I'll be just fine." He paused for a moment, confused. Then he shrugged and walked away. If only he knew. He had thrown me into the basement thinking I was powerless. But he had also made a mistake. He didn't hide his secrets carefully. And now those secrets were in the hands of someone who had nothing left to lose. Anna's confession. That afternoon, I heard quiet footsteps descending the basement stairs. I looked up and saw Anna standing there, eyes red, face tired, her pregnant belly visible under her loose shirt. "Mom," she whispered. I rushed to her and pulled her into my arms. She began to cry. "I didn't know Derek threw your things out. I didn't know he put you here. He said it was temporary, and I was so exhausted, I believed him." I stroked her hair gently. "It's not your fault, sweetheart. You're carrying a baby. You needed support." She sank to the mattress and wiped her tears. "Mom, Derek has changed so much. He's always angry, always hiding things. I don't know what to do anymore." My heart broke for her. But I knew I couldn't tell her about the documents yet, not until I had a plan. So I squeezed her hands and said, "You don't need to worry anymore, Anna. Everything will be okay soon." She looked up at me, confused. "What do you mean?" I smiled softly. "You'll understand when the time is right." As she went back upstairs, I knew one truth clearly. Derek thought moving his mother into my room would break me, but all he did was open a door he can never close. Now I had the key to ending all of this, and I was going to use it for my daughter, for my unborn grandchild, and for